students, you have studied about organic compounds right from your first year, and the organic compounds are generally classified on the basis of their functional groups. So, in this class we will be starting with another family of organic compound, what we call as aldehydes and ketones. Now, these aldehydes and ketones, they are studied together. What is the reason behind it? The reason is that both these aldehydes and ketones are found to contain a common group. And which is that common group? That common group we call it as a carbonyl group. So, this carbonyl group is having a double bonded carbon oxygen group. That is, here the carbon which is having a tetravalency. In that tetravalency, 2 of the valency is satisfied with oxygen and remaining 2 valency is unsatisfied. So, based on this carbonyl group, we can define what are aldehydes and what are ketones. We know that aldehydes and ketones are commonly called as carbonyl compounds. Why? Because they have got a carbonyl group in them. But how they differ? They differ with respect to the nature of the group attached to this unsatisfied valency. The 2 unsatisfied valency which I am showing here, it decides which compound is an aldehyde and which compound is a ketone. Suppose if I consider aldehyde, we say that aldehydes are carbonyl compounds in which the carbonyl carbon is attached to another carbon and hydrogen. I repeat here, aldehydes are the carbonyl compounds in which the carbonyl carbon or carbonyl group is attached to a carbon and hydrogen. Therefore, if I want to represent an aldehyde, I can represent an aldehyde by writing a general formula RCHO, where the CHO is called as an aldehydic functional group. The RCHO is the general formula of aldehydes and CHO group is considered to be the aldehydic functional group. In the same way, if I refer the compound, that is ketones, they are also carbonyl compound. But in these ketones, it is found that this carbonyl carbon, okay, is linked with 2 carbon atoms, or attached to 2 carbon atoms. Therefore, these ketones I can represent as in a general formula form as RCO R dash. Therefore, ketones are the carbonyl compounds which are represented by writing the general formula RCO R dash. And here this functional group, that is keto functional group, even though it is called a carbonyl group, in case of ketones we call this as a keto functional group. Therefore, we say ketones are the organic compounds or carbonyl compound which can be represented by writing the general formula RCO R dash, where R and R dash can be either similar or dissimilar. So, depending upon the nature of R and R dash group, we can say ketones are classified as symmetrical ketone and unsymmetrical ketone. So, what is meant by a symmetrical ketone? We say that a symmetrical ketone is that ketone in which the R and R dash group are considered to be same. That is, in this symmetrical ketone, R is same as R dash. If I want to consider one simple example, I can take that of CH3COCH3. This is called as a simple ketone. The nomenclature of this ketone we will later discuss. Okay. In this ketone we can see the 2 R groups, R and R dash, CH3CH3. Therefore, it is called simple ketone or also called as symmetrical ketone. On the other side, we can have another type of ketone, what you call as unsymmetrical ketone. Unsymmetrical ketones. In this unsymmetrical ketones, we say that R is not same as R dash. That means they are different. If I want to consider one simple example, I will take the example like this. R group is CH3 and R dash group is C2H5. This is a simple, this is an example for a unsymmetrical ketone or also called as a mixed ketone. So, if you take a general understanding of these compounds right now, I will just repeat what I have told. The aldehydes and ketones are together called as carbonyl compounds because they contain a carbonyl group in them. As I am showing here, the carbonyl group is having a carbon linked with oxygen through a double bond. It is linked with oxygen through a double bond, and out of 4 valencies of carbon, the 2 valencies already satisfied with oxygen, the remaining 2 valency is unsatisfied. Depending upon the nature of the group attached to this unsatisfied valency of carbonyl carbon, we can define which compounds are called aldehyde, which compounds are called as ketones. When I refer to word aldehydes, aldehydes are the organic compounds or more particularly a carbonyl compound which is represented by the general formula RCHO, where the carbonyl carbon is linked with carbon and hydrogen, where carbonyl carbon is linked with carbon and hydrogen. So, therefore, in aldehydes the CHO group is considered to be the functional group. If I take ketones, we say that ketones are the carbonyl compounds or organic compound which can be represented by writing the general formula RCOR dash, where the carbonyl carbon or carbonyl group is linked with 2 carbon atoms or attached to 2 carbon atoms. So, these ketones have got a functional group that is called as a keto functional group, which is nothing but a carbonyl group. When it is coming to ketones, it is called as a keto functional group. Okay. So, if I go for ketones further, I have defined here 2 types of ketones, which are those. One is called simple or symmetrical ketone, for which the R and R dash group linked with carbonyl group is same, alike. Second one is called unsymmetrical ketone, where the R and R dash group attached to carbonyl group is different, for which I have given the example of CH3CO C2H5. There is one methyl group and there is one ethyl group linked with carbonyl group. This is how we can introduce the unit of aldehydes and ketones to you. So, once you have studied about what are aldehydes, what are ketones, you are now aware of what are aldehydes. Aldehydes are the carbonyl compounds represented by the general formula RCHO, where CHO is the functional group. Ketones are the carbonyl compounds represented by the general formula RCOR dash, where CO or keto group is a functional group. This is how we can define aldehydes and ketones. So, once you know about aldehydes and ketones, what are they? The next part, as usual in different organic chemistry, we studied what we have studied is that about nomenclature. As you know, the naming part of any organic compound is the most important. Why? Because an organic compound without a name is having no meaning. Therefore, how to name an organic compound? We know that there are 2 different systems for naming an organic compound. Okay? What we commonly call as common system or trivial system, and secondly we call it as IUPAC system. Among the 2, the IUPAC system plays a very important role, because you have studied right from your first year nomenclature part, one compound, one name. That is the importance of IUPAC. So, if I go by IUPAC nomenclature, here and there I will just give the common name of these compounds also. We know that in IUPAC system of nomenclature, we know that different organic compounds are named according to a set of rules. And at this stage, it is beyond the scope of this particular unit to discuss all those rules. What I am trying to do here is, I am just giving few examples, and based on that I will just bring in few rules so that I can apply to it. But to give a basic understanding about the IUPAC nomenclature of aldehydes and ketones, we say that in aldehydes and ketones, we categorize the aldehydes mainly into aliphatic and aromatic aldehydes. As you know students, aliphatic aldehydes contain open chain group. When I represented the general formula as RCHO, where R group I take it as an alkyl group, then it becomes an aliphatic aldehyde. If I take R group as an aryl group, then it becomes an aromatic aldehyde. So if I want to name an aliphatic aldehyde, aliphatic saturated aldehyde, okay. When I say aliphatic, it is open chain, saturated, between the carbon atoms we have got a single bond, okay. And these saturated aliphatic aldehydes, when you want to name in the IUPAC system, we take it as a derivative of corresponding alkane. That is, if I take an alkane, how to select the alkane? The alkane is selected based on the number of carbon atom present inside the molecule. If there is one carbon atom, then the alkane corresponding to that one carbon atom, we take it as methane. Like that, if there are two carbon atoms, then that alkane is ethane. So what we do after that? We remove the ending E. I am just writing it as minus E, means I am removing the ending E, and then it becomes ALKAN. And to that I am adding the word al. That is what we call as a secondary suffix. And the compound is now called as alkanal. Therefore, aliphatic saturated aldehydes, when I want to name it in the IUPAC system, I call it as alkanal. This is a general way of naming an aliphatic aldehyde. So when you speak about alkanal, as I said, alkane is derived from the number of carbon atom. But since there is a functional group, you know that from the IUPAC system, whenever there is a functional group, a single functional group, then you have to follow certain rules. And what is that rule? The rule is that you have to select the carbon chain containing the functional group. Secondly, you have to number the carbon chain in such a way that the functional group gets the lowest number. Now the beauty of these aldehydes or ketones is that the functional group contains carbon atom, CHO, carbon, CO in ketones, carbon. Therefore, that CHO or CO has to be given lower preference. Now, if you take aldehydes, it is observed that in aldehydes, the carbonyl carbon or aldehydic carbon is always a terminal carbon. Terminal means towards the end. Therefore, when you number the carbon chain, it is always given a preference of 1. The position number 1 is fixed to aldehydic carbon. Aldehydic carbon is given preference number 1. And thereafter you give the number in such a way that substituent get the next lowest number. And if there is more than one substituent, as usually you have to follow the lowest sum rule. So all these rules you can just go back to your first year organic chemistry and just check it, and I will just take the application of that rule by taking few examples right now. So therefore, in a general statement, if I want to put it, the aliphatic aldehydes, saturated aliphatic aldehydes in the IUPAC system, we call it as alkanal. Okay? At the same time, if I consider an aromatic aldehyde, we know that an aromatic aldehyde means there is an aryl group. Aryl group, as you know, it is represented as C6H5. These aromatic aldehydes are those aldehydes in which the CHO group is linked with the benzene ring. That is the simplest of the aromatic aldehyde. And this aldehyde where CHO is attached directly to the benzene ring, we call it as benzaldehyde. That benzaldehyde is commonly called as a common name. At the same time, it can be even taken as an IUPAC name also. Therefore, benzaldehyde is a common name, benzaldehyde is a IUPAC name. But more accurately, we say that benzaldehyde is also called benzene carbaldehyde. Benzene carbaldehyde, that is the IUPAC name. But benzaldehyde is having a IUPAC sanction, means it is approved. You can write what is the IUPAC name of C6H5CHO? It is benzaldehyde or benzene carbaldehyde. And any other derivative of this benzaldehyde, we take it as derivative. What is the name of the substituent attached to the benzene ring in benzaldehyde? So, that substituent is named with the prefix with the corresponding locand and then name it as the derivative of benzaldehyde. This is a basic rule for naming an aldehyde. So, on these rules, let me give the examples, a few examples, because if you go for naming the organic compounds like aldehydes, there is hundreds to thousands of examples, which we can't cover everything right now in this particular session. But we can give maximum importance to certain category of aldehydes through which you can get some idea so that you can name the other aldehydes. Okay. So, let me start with few example, and in the discussion itself I will just bring in the common name of these aldehydes. So, let me start in this format here. I am starting with first the structure of the corresponding aldehyde, Then we have got the common system or common name or trivial name, and then we have got what we call as IUPAC name. This is how we are going with the nomenclature part. Suppose if I start with the simplest of the aliphatic aldehyde, which I represent like this, HCHO. This is one typical aldehyde where the carbonyl carbon is linked with both hydrogens. This is one example, a special case where the carbonyl carbon is linked with both hydrogen. Okay. Therefore, the HCHO is considered to be the formula of a aldehyde, which I call in the common system as formaldehyde. This is called as formaldehyde. And what is the IUPAC name of this compound? As I told, it is alkane. Alkane starts from number of carbon atom. How many carbon atoms are there? Only one. And with one carbon atom, the alkane is methane. So, remove the E, add the word Al. So, therefore, the compound name in the IUPAC system, we call it as methanol. This is the IUPAC name of the compound, what we call as formaldehyde, having a structure HCHO. The second compound in this series, another important category of compound, we can see here the R group, what I have shown in the general formula, RCHO. The R group is CH3, methyl group. But in the common system, it is called as acetaldehyde. Common name is acetaldehyde. And what is the IUPAC name? The IUPAC name is called as ethanol. Why it is ethanol? Ethanol because you can see there are two carbon atoms inside the molecule, and with two carbon atoms the alkane is ethane. Remove E, add the word Al. You can see in these two examples I have not indicated the position of the functional group. Why? The reason is simple. The position number 1 is given to this carbon, position number 1 is given to this carbon. When the position number is given as 1, there is no need to indicate it, it is understood that it is present at the first position. Similarly, if I go with the next category of compound here, that is the third member of this simple aliphatic aldehyde, that is CH3, CH2, CHO. We can see now here that is CH3CH2, C2H5. It is an alkyl group by name ethyl. So, it is linked to CHO group, and here this compound is called in the common system as propanoldehyde. Propanoldehyde. That is how we can name it in the common system. But what is the IUPAC name? The IUPAC name with 1, 2, 3. 3 carbon atom propane. Remove E, add the word Al. Therefore, IUPAC name of this compound is propanol. It is called as propanol, the IUPAC name. Similarly, if I go with the next compound here, the compound is CH3, CH2, CH2, CHO. What is this compound called? This compound we call it as butyraldehyde. The compound is called as butyraldehyde. But what is IUPAC name? We can see here there are 4 carbon atoms in the chain, and with 4 carbon atoms the alkane is butane. And you know that butane, the ending E you remove, add the word Al, a secondary suffix, and the name of this compound is now called as butanol. This is how we can name the compound butanol in the IUPAC system. Similarly, if I go with another compound here, that compound I can name it as CH3, CH, CH3, CHO. If we check these two compounds, we can see that these two compounds have the same molecular formula. Just count the carbon atom, 1, 2, 3, 4, C4, hydrogen atom, 3, 5, 7, 8 and O. So, C4, H, 5, 7, 8, H8O. Same way here, 1, 2, 3, 4, C4, 3, 6, 7, 8, H8O. Means the molecular formula is same. How they are different? They are different in the respect to structure. How they are different in terms of structure? In the number of carbon atoms in the straight chain. Therefore, they are referred as isomers. Therefore, what is the name of this compound? The name of this compound in the common system, I call it as isobutyraldehyde. I call it as isobutyraldehyde. Isomer of butyraldehyde, isobutyraldehyde. But can I call it as isobutanol? No. In the IUPAC system, we cannot use a prefix like iso, neo, n, okay, secondary, etc. So, what I want to name it, how to name this compound now is, you have to select the rules. Select the chain containing the functional group. So, I am selecting the chain like this. Then number the chain and number it in such a way that the functional group get the lowest number. So, if I start numbering from this end, this is given 1, then we have got 2, then we have got 3. So, first carbon is aldehyde carbon, functional group carbon. Next on the second carbon we can find a substituent. That substituent is called methyl. And whenever a substituent is there, you have to introduce a term called prefix. Prefix, and prefix is the word which is added before the root word along with the locant number or position number. Therefore, what is the name of this compound? The compound name is, it is 2-methyl, the substituent name has come already. And then with 3 carbon atoms in the straight chain, I call it as propanol, 2-methyl propanol. This is how the IUPAC nomenclature of isobutyraldehyde is given. That is, it is 2-methyl propanol. Now, if I want to give few more examples, because naming of an organic compound is an integral part of any organic chemist. If you do not know the name of an organic compound, there is no question of studying that compound. So, therefore, as more and more nomenclature if you study, more and more grip you can get over the subject. This is how I can go with the next compound, and the compound I can give here as another one simple example here. I want to just deviate from the slightly what I have explained up till now, that is CH2 double bond CH, CHO. Now, this aldehyde, even though it is aliphatic in nature, but it is not saturated. You can see here in between these two carbon atoms there is a double bond, and therefore, it is unsaturated. And in this compound you can see there is an aldehyde group, therefore, it is definitely an aldehyde, an aliphatic aldehyde. But when you want to name this in the IUPAC system, what is the difference you can make out? The difference is done in the basis of primary suffix, that is the nature of linkage, primary suffix changes. What is that primary suffix? The primary suffix is that it is having a double bond, therefore, it is En, En, okay. Then you have to number the carbon chain in the same way, that is by following the rules, so that the carbon atom which is having a functional group inside it is considered to be the lowest number. The next number is given to the carbon from where the double bond starts. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If I want to name this compound in the IUPAC system, then I call it as, it is 3 carbon, so it is prop 2 in 1 R. Or I can even write it as prop 2 in R, or 2-propanol, 2-propanol. So, this is how we can go with the nomenclature. I just remove this one, even if you write 1 also it is correct, or 2-propanol is also correct, or prop 2-enol it is also correct. It's just to understand how to name an aldehyde which contains a double bond, because aliphatic includes alkyl groups, alkenyl groups also. So, this is one such category. Now, what is the common name of this compound? The common name of this compound, I call it as acrolein. Acrolein, the common name of a compound CH2 double bond CH2, we call it as acrolein, or it is prop-2-ene-1-al or 2-propanol or prop-2-enol. This is how I can take few examples for an aliphatic aldehyde. Now, suppose if I go with an aromatic aldehyde, as I already told you, the aromatic aldehyde, it begins with the simplest of the aromatic aldehyde, which is having CHO group attached directly to the benzene ring. And this aldehyde, as I already called it is benzaldehyde. It is benzaldehyde. That is the common name. Now, what is the IUPAC name? I told you benzaldehyde is having IUPAC sanction, means you can name it as in the IUPAC system as benzaldehyde also. But if you want to go with a more accurate name in the IUPAC system for benzaldehyde, it is benzene carbaldehyde. It is benzene carbaldehyde, or as I told you, benzaldehyde is also having an IUPAC sanction, means you can use benzaldehyde even as IUPAC name. Any other derivative of this aromatic aldehyde, I can refer it as the derivative of benzaldehyde. You can see now I have given nitro group at the meta position. You know that if I take this as position number 1, then 1,2 position is ortho, 1,3 is meta, 1,4 is para. So, this compound in the common system, if I want to name, it is called as meta-nitrobenzaldehyde. Meta-nitrobenzaldehyde. But what is the IUPAC name? The IUPAC name of this compound is, you can see here position number 1, 2, 3. So, it is 3-nitrobenzaldehyde. 3-nitrobenzaldehyde. This is how I can explain the nomenclature of few of the aldehydes coming under our discussion. As I told you, it is not the only few examples which is required. You can go with plenty, hundreds to thousands of examples which is left for your subject of discussion and interest. More you try to name it, more grip, as I already told you, you get over the subject. So, just try the remaining examples by looking into different books. Now, coming to second category of nomenclature, that is about the ketones. As I already told you, ketones are another category of carbonyl compounds in which the carbonyl carbon or carbonyl group is attached to the 2 carbon atoms. Now, in these ketones, again we have got simple ketones and mixed ketone or symmetrical and unsymmetrical. Along with that, we have got aliphatic ketone, we have got aromatic ketone. But if I want to name a simple aliphatic ketone in the IUPAC system, then we use the term called alkanone, where the ending E of the corresponding alkane is replaced by ONE, alkanone. Secondly, just like in aldehydes, what we have done, we have selected the chain containing the functional group. But the difference between aldehydes and ketones is that in aldehydes, the CHO group is always present at the end, at the term. But in case of ketone, it is not like that. The carbonyl group, what I called as keto group, is not found at the term. It is also always found in between the carbon chain, in between the carbon atoms. Therefore, when you number the carbon chain, you have to select the proper numbering so that the keto carbon will get the lowest number. So, how to name it? So, for that, let me give few examples here. The example what I am starting here for naming a ketone is like this. I will start with one simple example, CH3COCH3. This is one of the simplest of the ketones what we can have. When I want to name it in the common system, I can say that in these ketones, the common system says that you have to name the group attached to the carbonyl group, okay, by using a suitable prefix. Prefix in the sense, if there are 2 similar groups, use the prefix di, then name the group. then add the word ketone. Suppose if there are two different groups, as already gave the example, if I take the example like this CH3, CO, C2H5, in these two you can find that one is methyl, another one is ethyl. When there are two different groups attached to the carbonyl group, then you have to use the alphabetical order of naming the compound. So, if I want to name the first compound in the IUPAC system, I can name it as if I want to name the first compound in the common system, then I can name it as dimethyl ketone. Dimethyl ketone. But this dimethyl ketone, what I have written now, is having one of the very important traditional name. I can also say it as a commercial name also, which I call it as acetone. I call it as acetone. Acetone is a one word which is having a more relevance than dimethyl ketone. As soon as the word acetone comes, it is dimethyl ketone having the formula Ca3COCH3. But what is the IUPAC name? We can see here the two alkyl groups are simplest of the alkyl group, which I can't split it further. Ca3 is the simplest. Therefore, when I count the carbon atoms in the carbon chain, I can number this carbon as 1, 2, 3. If I number from this end 1, 2, 3, either way if you number it, the carbonyl group gets the lowest number, that is 2. Therefore, this compound I can name it as the compound as 2-propanone. 2-propanone, or simply I can call it as propan-2-one. Both are same. 2-propanone. You can see here with 3 carbon atom propane, remove the ending E, add the word ONE. Or I can write it as 2-propanone mainly because the carbon atom is a functional group here, that is a keto functional group, and that is at the second position. So, propan-2-one or 2-propanone. So, more clearly if I want to put it once again, you can write it as propan-2-one, propan-2-one or 2-propanone. This is how we can name this compound. If I want to name this compound in the common system, I can name this compound with the two groups using alphabetical list. According to the alphabetical list or order, ethyl begins with E, methyl begins with M. So, E comes first, M comes later. Therefore, this compound I can call it as ethyl methyl ketone. Ethyl methyl ketone, that is a common name. Now, what is the IUPAC name of this compound? If you want to count the carbon atom, you have to include these two carbon atoms separately. Means C2H5 I can split it and write it as CH2CH3, CH2CH3. And in this you can see there are 4 carbon atoms, and in these 4 carbon atoms you can number from this end 1, 2, 3, 4. If I number from this end 1, 2, second carbon is a keto carbon or functional group carbon. But if you number from the other side 1, 2, 3, then it gives a higher number, higher than 2. Therefore, I can't number from this end 1, 2, 3, this is wrong. So, if I number from this end 1, 2, 3, 4, is the second carbon which is called keto carbon, and that is a functional group carbon. Therefore, when you want to name this compound in the IUPAC system, I can call it as with 4 carbon atom it is butan, then position of the functional group on second carbon butan-2-one or 2-butanone. That is how we can name this compound in the IUPAC system. Like that I can go with plenty of other examples. For example, if I take another compound here, that is CH3 C double bond O CH 2 CH2 CH3. You can see here this is methyl group, this is N-propyl group. Therefore, this compound in the common system, if I want to name, it is called methyl N-propyl ketone, methyl N-propyl ketone. And what is IUPAC name? If I number it from this end 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second carbon is a keto carbon, therefore, it is pentan 2 one. That is how I can name this compound in the IUPAC system. Similarly, if I want to give one more last example coming under this series, that is a mixed ketone or unsymmetrical ketone, but having a benzene ring in it. So, I can compound, I can write it in this way, which is having a benzene ring, then we have got a carbonyl group, and then we have got CH3 group, okay, a carbonyl group and CH3 group. What is the name of this compound? This compound we call it as methyl phenyl ketone, or it is also called acetophenone. Just like acetone is CH3COCH3, in the same way acetophenone is C6H5COCH3. Now, if I want to name this compound in the IUPAC system, then in this we can take it as a derivative of an aliphatic ketone. What is that derivative? Derivative of the 2 carbon ketone, and 2 carbon ketone is ethanone. So, therefore, this groups, that is benzene ring, is now considered to be the substituent here, and when it is a substituent it is called phenyl. The C6H5 group is acting as a substituent and it is now called as phenyl, and the name of this compound is phenylethanone. This is how the examples for few of the members of aldehydes and ketones have taken here. That is about the nomenclature part in case of aldehydes and ketones. So, that is about nomenclature.